Upon the arrival of the first slave ships, America seemed to have a fascination with enslaved people, entertaining them through singing, dancing, or playing instruments. 300 years later, the radio and television were invented, allowing America to become a little more comfortable with a musical machine called Motown. By the time the 80s came along, it seemed that there were more popular black faces that were shown on national television. Michael Jordan, Oprah, Michael Jackson, Magic Johnson, The Cosby Show, the first black Miss America, Vanessa Williams. Adding to the mix was the introduction of hip-hop, which visually brought black hip-hop stars to the suburbs. And the 90s produced megastars like Mike Tyson and Eddie Murphy. By the year 2010, there appeared to be a few black billionaires, and in the political world, there were several black mayors, and eventually there was a black president and a black vice president. To most Americans, it became easy to say that racism was over. But was it really over?
Many people think that racism ended for black people after the 70s. What do you say to that?
And that would be pure foolishness. You can't take a handful of famous black people to illustrate that racism is over. That's the equivalent of saying, because the Walmart family has made it, every American should have made it. Fame plus money doesn't protect them or their families from this nasty disease. Roll the tape.
LeBron James has achieved significant accomplishments off the court, including the LeBron James Family Foundation, which supports education and community programs. The I Promise School for At-Risk Youth. He also co-founded the media company Spring Hill Entertainment and has produced several successful projects. Despite all of his success, the N-word was spray painted on his home where his wife and 3 children live.
A disturbing story on the eve of the finals. On Wednesday, police in Los Angeles reporting a racial slur was spray painted on the front gate of a home owned by LeBron James there. According to police, when they arrived at the home, management staff had already painted over the highly offensive graffiti.
Race and what's going on comes again, but it just goes to show that that racism will always be a part of the world, a part of America. And, hate, in America, especially for African American, is living every day. No matter how famous you are, no matter how many people admire you, being black in America is tough.
Oprah Winfrey created and hosted The Oprah Winfrey Show, a highly influential talk show that ran for 25 years. She founded the Oprah Winfrey Foundation and the Oprah Winfrey Operating Foundation, supporting various causes such as education and women's rights. She opened the Oprah Winfrey Foundation Academy for Girls in South Africa. Despite all of her achievements, she still faced the same feeling of discrimination that the poorest black person can feel at times.
At a store, whose name I will not mention, and I was, I didn't have my eyelashes on, but I was in full Oprah Winfrey gear. I had my little Donna Karan skirt and my little sandals and on. But obviously, the Oprah Winfrey Show is not shown in Zurich. So this doesn't happen to me unless somebody obviously doesn't know that it's me. But I was in Zurich for Tina Turner's wedding. And I decided I'm gonna leave the hotel. It's just me, by myself. Stedman, wasn't there. And Gail wasn't there, no friends. I'm out by myself. And I go into a store, which shall remain unnamed. And I say to the woman, excuse me, may I see that bag right above your head? And she says to me, no. It's too expensive. And I said, no, see the black one, the one that's folded over, and she said, no, you don't want to see that one. You want to see this one because that one will cost too much. You will not be able to afford that. And I said, well, no, I really did want to see that one. And she refused to get it. She refused to get it. And she started to show me these other little bags. And I said, one more time I tried, I said, but I really do just really want to see that one. And she said, oh, I don't want to hurt your feelings. And I said, okay, thank you so much. You're probably right. I can't afford it. And I walked out of the store. Now, why did she do that?
Michelle Obama grew up on Chicago's South Side. She studied sociology and African American studies at Princeton University in New Jersey before attending Harvard Law School. Years later, her speech during the party's national convention drew widespread praise. Michelle stated that, "When they go low, we go high." Despite trying to elevate past racism, racism still hurt Michelle to her soul.
What the white community doesn't understand about being a person of color in this nation is that there are daily slights. We had just finished taking the girls to a soccer game, and we were stopping to get ice cream, and I had told the Secret Service to stand back because we were trying to be normal, trying to go in. There was a line, and once again, when I'm just a black woman, I notice that white people don't even see me. They're not even looking at me. And a white woman cuts right in front of us to order, like she didn't even see us. And the girl behind the counter almost took her order. So I stepped up and I said, "Excuse me." I said, "You don't see us 4 people standing right here? You just jumped in line?" She didn't know it was me. All she saw was a black person or a group of black people, or maybe she didn't even see that because we were that invisible. Will come up and pet my dogs, but will not look me in the eye. They don't know it's me. That is so telling of how white America views people who are not like them. You know, we don't exist. And when we do exist, we exist as a threat. And that's exhausting. The only thing I can do is share that does hurt. Because if we walk around pretending like it doesn't hurt, the perpetrators just say, "Oh, I was just joking. It's just politics." It's like, no. That changes the shape of a person's soul.
And in her 2018 memoir, Michelle says she felt racism as a student at Harvard and Princeton. She shared that her first roommate switched dorms after learning she was black. Quote, her mother, a school teacher from New Orleans, had been so appalled that her daughter had been assigned a black roommate that she'd badgered the university to separate us.
Vanessa Williams is an American singer, actress, model, producer, and dancer. In 1984, she gained recognition as the first black woman to receive the Miss America crown. Although she was considered the most beautiful woman in the world, it did not shield her from receiving constant death threats because she was black.
You were the first black woman to be Miss America.
1983.
Yeah. Was there a downside to being first?
Of course, the downside is you get the brunt of all the anger and all the, I wrote a book with my mom because I needed not only to tell my story, but my mother to tell how she was protecting me. At 20 years old, I was a junior at Syracuse, and I won. I had no aspirations of ever being a beauty queen, but me being Miss America overnight, I had death threats being sent to my house because of my color.
Tiger Woods is an American professional golfer. Woods is widely regarded as one of the greatest golfers of all time and is one of the most famous athletes in modern history. He is an inductee of the World Golf Hall of Fame. Tiger has described himself as Cablasian mixed with many cultures, but as a child, he felt the sting of racism every time he practiced on a golf course.
Do you ever feel under any kind of pressure or any kind of prejudice? Golf's quite often seen as an upper class white game. Do you ever feel that at all?
But every time I go to major country club. Always feel it. You can always sense it. People are always staring at you. What are you doing here? You shouldn't be here. When I go to Texas or Florida, you always feel it because they're saying, why are you here? You're not supposed to be here.
Americans think this behavior towards black people took place hundreds of years ago, when in reality we have a beauty queen receiving death threats, a billionaire's house being vandalized, a first lady being disrespected, a young golfer feeling out of place, and a billionaire being told you can't afford it, but you know what? It's only a few bad apples.